Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game Hounds Happy Endings. Yeah, baby. Yeah, we got some clapping going on here in the studio. This is Holy Goalie. I'm joined by Edie Sellers, who was supposed to have the week off, but I caught her just for a few minutes, and we're going to talk about Not So Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
All right, let's just get right into the meat and potatoes, okay? What do you do besides drive around? Tell me, oh great one, what should I be doing? I put it in just before we get on the air here, 6 times. I've put this game in and out of my Xbox. It's like a bad movie. And you're waiting for something to happen, and you're waiting to care about the characters, and you're waiting to be entertained, and you don't want to give up on it, but you got your hand on your head, and you're slumped over, and you're out of your mind. And you're just like, okay, I've heard so many great things about this game, so many great things to do. I no doubt, I've been at this game for 2 hours. That is plenty of time to make something happen and get me excited about your game. 2 hours and nothing has happened. So tell me what I'm doing wrong.
All right. So are you talking about the story mode or the online? Because the online launched yesterday.
No, I haven't gone near that.
Okay. The story mode itself, I'm not going to lie, it is a slow burn.
Ugh. Well, when you say burn,
you got the 2 characters.
When you say burn, that indicates there's some warmth and there's some heat.
Oh yeah.
There's none. There's none.
It took a long time. It took a long time for me too. Don't worry, you're not alone in this. It took a long time for me. Could not. Well, we're used to a Grand Theft Auto that comes onto the screen with a great story. Like it's in a package, a cinematic beginning, and you're compelled by that opening scenario that is a compact dialogue. It's something there. Like you know what you're doing, you know what your point of being is, your raison d'etre, so to speak, within this world. Grand Theft Auto 5 doesn't do that. It starts with an opening cinematic, but it seems completely disjointed from the gameplay. And it is. And I think that was kind of a mistake because, and you just have to take it on faith, you've got this opening cinematic of, hey, if nobody's seen the opening cinematic, I'm going to call a spoiler, but considering it's the opening, I don't think it's really a spoiler. An opening cinematic of a bank robbery that goes horribly wrong. Then you are launched into Los Santos playing this black guy that has nothing to do with the bank robbery. And then over that point of time, you meet this black guy meets this white guy who seems to have no connection to that opening cinematic. Eventually, those stories will kind of cross between Franklin, the guy that's the hood, that's essentially a repo man for a shifty luxury car dealer, and Michael, this retired criminal. And you find out as you kind of dink around with them a little bit more about them, and then their stories cross. And then pretty much, and this is where I am at the story, and I can now see where it was going. It just took a long time to get there. Something happens within the story between Michael and Franklin that you end up meeting, what's his name? The hillbilly, the hick, the meth dude. Oh!
Don't know.
I want to say Colin or something like that. I forget what his name is. I just met him, so he isn't making an impression on me. But you find out that Michael and this other guy, Michael is thought to have been dead and is in witness protection. And all of a sudden, he decides to do something that blows his cover. And all of a sudden, this other guy who's been out and everybody thinks he's dead, he couldn't have possibly survived, he actually is there at that horrible, like that 1 second mistake that Michael makes to kind of, if anybody knew him, it would know it was him. and he tips off that other guy that he's alive. Now that's where I'm at. And now I see the story. And now I get it. And now I'm compelled by the story. But I'm not going to lie. It took about 15 hours of me dorking around.
Holy cow. 15 hours?
Well, it took me 15 hours of dorking around.
There's nothing
this is not
to
a linear
do.
Story.
Yeah, but there's nothing to do. Seriously, I've just walked around, driven around. I did see somebody get robbed, and I got the purse back for some lady.
Did you follow the missions?
There's no missions. I am not in a mission, and I'm never in a mission.
Yeah, you are.
I go to my mission. It says nothing.
You go to your map. Do you see a letter anywhere on the map?
Once in a while, I do. Yeah.
Those, if you see the letters, just like in Grand Theft Auto 4, if you see a letter that on the map, that is a story mission. If you want to propel the story, you have to go and do those missions.
So you got to go to the letters.
Right. Those are your story missions. Now, last night, Grand Theft, pardon me while I eat, because this is like the only opportunity I've had to eat today. Grand Theft Auto Online launched last night. Well, yesterday morning. I got onto it last night. Now, in order to play the online, it takes you out of wherever you are in Los Santos and takes you to another place in Los Santos. You create a character, and it's a very interesting way that you create a character, is that instead of just choosing a character from a bunch of models, you choose your mother and your father, and that creates who you are. Or you can choose your 4 grandparents, and that creates who you are. Some of these characters that you can choose as your ancestors are people you know. I heard that, what was the name of the protagonist in Red Dead Redemption?
Marks or something?
No.
Yeah, John Marks?
No, was it John? God dang it. I can't remember his name. But yes, he's one of the characters. I'm going to have to look it up. Hold on. Because it's going to drive me nuts. Red Dead. Hey, I have to take this. You want to just keep talking?
Yeah, I'll keep rolling. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out. Let me go to the chat room here and see what's going on in the chat room. Looks like we have Yager in there, Stevie Ortega, Namhawk, Black Sphere Void, Corey Wallace, Michael O'Connell. Good to see everybody. Pissed! Good to see you, Pissed, in the chat room here as we... AC Wraith, scroll up to the top. Yeah, so we're chatting a little Grand Theft Auto, and if you guys have looked on my Twitter feed or my Facebook or Gamehound's Facebook, boy, I tell you, I don't know what to do. I really want to like this game. I really do. This was supposed to be my next Skyrim. This was supposed to be the one that I jump in and I get lost. And it's boring me to tears. So, okay, so Yaga says, yep, go to the letters. Well, I'm looking at the map. I'm so far away in the map, and sometimes I don't even have a car. So I think I steal a car, I get chased by the cops, and then try to get to the letter. And it's way too spread out. There's no direction. And open worlds are fun, but you got to have something to do aside drive around. The thing about Skyrim, which was great, is that you wouldn't get too far and you'd find something to do. And you went into a town, there was always a couple of quests going on along with the main quest. You had some direction. Grand Theft Auto, it's almost like they expect you to know what's going on. They're just assuming everybody's familiar with this setup. And so what they're doing is they're making you watch Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3 because they know how good episode 4 was. That's what it feels like. It's like, well, Grand Theft Auto is Star Wars episode 4. But you have to sit through 1, 2, and 3 before you can get to the good one. So what is the deal? So anybody in the chat room, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so I go to the letter. That should help. I actually did, just before we get on the air, I did go to the letter M. Don't know what it was, and something happened, and we're supposed to go do something. This is the first time, and got to be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that I finally have something to really do. I just find myself driving around looking for something. And it's too far to walk, so you do have to steal a car. And it's just driving around's kind of fun. I got to say, listen to the radio. It's funny. The radio's funny. The ads and the commercials and the weather and all that. I got to say, it's funny. And some of the music is pretty good. The driving is I'm getting used to the driving. It's better. But just why take so long to get up to speed? Again, it's like watching a movie, and you just waiting for something to happen to keep you tuned in, and it's just not happening. There's just not enough to do in the beginning, and I keep hearing all these great things, and I don't have any money to do anything anyway. I don't think, because I haven't done anything, and that's how you get money to go do things, I would imagine. I did walk into the gun store, went out back to the gun range. You'd think I could shoot in the gun range? Nope. It's just there's not enough direction in this game. And Jason Webb in the chat room says, once you start doing missions, more things open up, like sports and games, the side missions. I hope so, Jason. I just don't know why it's taken this long to do something. I literally, because you start off as the black character, I don't know his name, because I don't care. I don't even care what his name is. That's how lame it is. And then I played the dog, who's Chop or Pork Chop or something, which was stupid. You play as the dog. I thought that was dumb. Didn't enjoy that at all. Couldn't even control the damn thing. That I thought was lame. And then you went to the middle-aged white guy, and that's where I am right now. And so I was him, and I walked out of doing something. There was a small little mission, not even a mission, but something that happened with him. And I walked out of this place, and there I am in the street in the rain. What do I do? Where do I go? So I think I grabbed the car, and I got chased by the cops, and I got cornered, and they shot me. And I just shut off the game. It's like, what am I doing? Where do I go? So it's just help me along here. Yeah, like I said, it's like a bad movie with no direction, or it's going in 100 directions, and there's nothing to do. I literally drove around for 20 minutes in the game today. 20 minutes trying to find something to do. And that's what I've been doing. I've been going into this game and just, okay, well, I gave it a half hour. I've done nothing but drive around. So popped it out, and I put in something else. I went back to Aliens Colonial Marines, if you can believe it. Aliens Colonial Marines I went back to. I wonder if I even got a sound effect for that. Yeah, not a very good one. How about this one? Yeah, there we go. I went back to Aliens just to do something. I wanted to do something so bad, and this game is just not letting me do anything but drive around. All right, Piss says, keep going to the letters. All right, I'll do that. But there was one letter on the board. One. That's all there was. And there might have been a question. I forget. But there's nothing. Nothing there. Oh, boy. Steve Ortega, some gun stores you could shoot. Well, the one I went in didn't, and that's what's going on in this game. It's just a lot of nothing so far. And the problem is I get it. I see how it's maybe getting better because I finally get something to go do. I'm just so happy to do something in this game. I went and I met, was it Michael at his house or Mark? I don't even know his name. Again, I don't know his name. I don't care. I don't care. That's how lame it is so far. And I met him at his house by the pool, and something happens. This is where I am. We're getting in a car to go do something. Finally, the game gave me something to do. Finally. That's all I want to do. I just want to play. I don't want to drive and do nothing, even though that's fun. Putzing around is fun, and I did a lot of that in Skyrim. Just kind of walked around and explored, and that was kind of fun. But you usually found something to do, or found a monster to fight, or some lady was like, help me, help me, help. Even in Red Dead Redemption, you drove around, and there were bandits out there, and trains and stuff. And
I'm back.
Boy, over here, it's just a lot. Like I was just, Edie's back. I was just explaining to the chat room here and then the listeners. It feels like that because it's Grand Theft Auto, they're going to make you sit through Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 because Star Wars Episode 4 is so good. And that's what they're expecting.
Kind of. It's kind of like that.
And it's like I got to sit through 9 hours of Jar Jar Binks to get to the Millennium Falcon. That's what it feels. And it's like, and it's like, remember we talked about Battlefield and how you would come in at such a low level and you would just get picked off and you had to play hour after hour of just being the loser and getting your ass kicked to finally unlock one level of a gun. That's what it feels like. And we talked about how you come to the mountain and you look at the top of the mountain and you can either start climbing that mountain real slow or you just say, screw it. I got other games I can have way more fun with. I'm not going to be anybody's pawn.
Right. But you're used to kind of walking around, and Steve Pissboy mentioned it in the chat room, is that you're kind of used to walking around and having things happen in front of you and you get caught up in them. In this one, you really have to rely upon the map to tell you how to proceed and how to go forward in the story. And that's the key, is that getting through those first set of kind of setting up the story, setting up who these characters are, setting up their lives, which are very detailed lives, very compelling lives. Getting that kind of, that window dressing, as my mom used to call it, the window dressing kind of set so that you can actually start in on the story, that's important. So going to the map, going through the, just kind of almost, I don't want to say ignores all the rest of the stuff, but remember that whatever you're doing, if you're not moving the story along and you don't get what the story is, move the story forward. If you find yourself at that point like, what the fuck, then just go move the story forward. It'll come together. I know that you have to take it on faith, and you shouldn't have to rely upon a faith to get a story moving. And I think that's a lot of people were so enamored of the fact that it's Grand Theft Auto that all the people that were just saying, oh, greatest game ever, oh my God, greatest game ever, were really kind of glossing over the fact that it takes a while to get that story going. You have to invest in it. And if you're previously invested and you're not looking at it like, am I going to like it? Am I going to hate it? You're going to bail. I think much sooner than most people.
That's where I am. I'm so frustrated because gaming time is precious. We've gone through this. We're older. We're not kids getting out of school and having all day to play. We got jobs and families and things to take care of. So gaming time is precious. Mm-hmm. And when you have other choices to play, like I was saying, I just went back to Aliens Colonial Marines and played another couple of sections. I just wanted to do something. I had an hour or so to play something. Mm-hmm. And I gave Grand Theft Auto another shot last night, and I did nothing. So I popped open Aliens, and I said, "Screw it! I'm gonna play something." And I played Aliens, and it was terrible, but at least I played something.
You did something.
I did something. Then I went back to Diablo, and I got to kill things and smash things and put on armor, and I was like, finally, something to do. So I can drive around, and then someone in the chat room put the letters on the map weren't a clue. No, they weren't. They were not a clue. I had no idea what an M or a J or no clue.
It definitely took into faith that you remembered
exactly.
that from Grand Theft Auto 4.
It took into account. You knew exactly what was going on with the Grand Theft Auto series, and trust us, it's going to get better. But we got to spend 10 hours building up a storyline. If you could just hang in there, Jar Jar Binks will be done. And no, I mean, I didn't. I'm lost. I am lost, and I'm frustrated. And you can tell in my voice how frustrated I am.
You'll feel more frustrated when you go to the online, because right now, of course, online was getting hammered like it was, handing out $20 blowjobs. It was just getting annihilated. The servers, as far as a launch is concerned for an online game, I would say it's better than 90% of the ones that we've seen in the past. It was definitely better than Diablo. It's better than SimCity. All these big titles that have said, oh, yeah, you're not going to have any problems on launch. Well, this one, yeah, you do have problems on launch. I was playing it last night until 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was problematic. When you go into the online, it makes you go through a multi-stage tutorial. You create your character. I was talking about the character creation. But it goes through the multi-stage tutorial, and you have to go through a race, then you have to rob a liquor store, and then you have to do something else I can't remember, and then the final one is a death match. And Hawk and was it Darn Ragnar? Who was it? No, it wasn't Darn Ragnar. It was somebody else. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot who it was. That they had an absolutely impossible time getting through into the tutorial. It would lock up. So I'm not going to lie, it's buggy.
Well, yeah. Anytime something big launches online, I
don't think it's the servers. I think it's bugs in the program. It's not bugs in the servers, which is kind of I'll give them a little credit for that, because 9 times out of 10, it's server issues. I don't think it's server issues. It's definitely not that. It's because when I could get through the initial loading screen, I have no problems within the city. The online, you actually have story missions within the online, and those are denoted by stars on your map. And then you also have individual kind of races and different kinds of missions that are not story based that will help you increase your reputation points. Your reputation points are essentially your level. It is really, really fun if you're playing with other people. And especially with other people but it's a brutal environment. Absolutely brutal environment, because if you get yourself killed with money on you, because you can deposit your money into a bank. If you get some money from a mission, like say you get $2,000 or $3,000. If you deposit your money into the bank and you do that through your cell phone on the internet, then your money's safe. But if you have any money on you and you forget to do that, and somebody drives by and shoots you and kills you, they can pick up your money and they've got your money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, can you set this up so no one can do that, or is this you go into the world and
you can do that? You can set it up so that you cannot be engaged in battle. You can't be shot, but then again, you can't shoot at anybody else.
Okay, because the last time I played, when it was Grand Theft 4, me and a couple of friends went around town and we just drove around and had some fun, and we couldn't do anything to each other, and so it wasn't like they could hurt my character or whatever. Right,
and you can get a reputation that's called being a bad sport, and as you play, the more and more bad sport points you get, if you say leave a mission early or something, or if you destroy somebody else's car, because you have your car, that is your car, and you insure it. So that if you destroy your car, you can call the insurance company and they'll provide you a replacement.
Okay.
But if you shoot somebody else, you're not a bad sport. But if you destroy somebody else's car, then you are a bad sport. If you get enough bad sport points, and still it's being kind of discovered of what is something that gets you bad sport points, you will be relegated to only groups that have bad sports. So if you're a dick, you're going to end up with all the dicks.
Okay.
But the question is, what makes you a dick? And there's a lot of really fucked up things that you can do that don't make you a bad sport. Other things within the online that I'm just discovering that's really freaking cool. As long as you're not in a party, if you're just in the game chat, you can, no matter what, rob a liquor store, and it marks out all the liquor stores that you could possibly rob. And what you do is you walk in and you point your gun at the shopkeeper behind the counter, and he'll be like, okay, I'll give you the money. And he starts taking the money out of the cash register and putting it in a bag. If you're in game chat, not in a party chat, but game chat, if you start yelling at him, he starts to put the money in faster.
That's awesome.
You can also go into the strip club and you can flirt with the strippers by talking into your microphone in game chat. And if you talk to them nice enough and flirt with them enough, they will give you their phone number if you have an apartment where you can take them back. So it's actually got some really neat functionality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing all these things, and and I knew that they had problems, online, and I'm not gonna. I never dump on any game opening day. Even if Xbox One comes out and shits the bed online, I'm not going to dump on them because they get rushed. That's what happens with anything.
You get bombed.
Yeah, you need a good 5 to 7 days for the initial rush to end. Because I know I actually tried to get on last night with Grand Theft Auto 5, and it just says, sorry, all servers are busy. Would you like to order Obamacare instead? And it's like, oh, no, those are all busy too. So nothing worked last night.
He's not even going to try online until next week.
Yeah.
Because Rockstar is going to be buying up servers. I honestly don't think, from the way that it's acting, and I could be wrong, I just don't get the feeling that it's a server issue. I get the feeling that there are loading screen bugs. One of the bugs that I kept on noticing is that you go into, when you do a formalized mission, not just something that you randomly go rob a liquor store. When you do a formalized mission, when you're done with it, it will load you out into a screen, and it's, people in your group will vote on what the next mission should be. If at least for me, if I hit B and back out of that just to go to free play, it would dump me out of the screen, and then I could not get back in. Or in a couple of cases, I would be in a world on a server in a group, group of 16, in a server. I'm just in there. I'm buying some clothes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it'll say, you've been kicked from this group, from this room by another player.
Oh.
Please return to Grand Theft Auto. And then it dumps you out to the single player. But it has a screen that says, please press A to continue. And you'd press A. And you'd press and press and press and press and press and press, and it wouldn't go anywhere. It would just stay there. So I had to dashboard out so many times last night. So I think these are actually bugs within the multiplayer game, not necessarily server issues.
It could be, and that
or when
happens,
you're in a group and you all decide to quit, or you all decide to back out and go to free play. If sometimes it would take that group and split them out into two different rooms. So it's like, oh, well, that's Chaos and M-Hawk are in one game, and me and Goalie are in another. But we had been in the same game at the previous, so it would boot you out and just send you somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to go online. Like I said, I'm not trading in this game. I'm not gonna rage quit. I'm just really frustrated at just how they set this up and how I've been playing games a long time. I don't consider myself a stupid gamer. I'm just not figuring.
But you're not a patient gamer.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not.
The thing is that this is not a game for people.
I will give you that.
Just jump in.
Again, my gaming time is precious to me, and just like my TV time. It's like I'm pretty picky about what I watch on TV. You got a few minutes to catch me on your TV show, and if you bore me to death, I'm out. I'm going on to the next thing, and that's kind of how this is.
According to Adam, Rockstar's Twitter is saying it's connection issues, not programming issues. And he says grain of salt. Yeah, I think you're going to want to take that with a big grain of salt. Because the things that I was encountering last night that was causing me to have to shut down or that would lock up my Xbox entirely, those aren't connection issues.
Yeah.
Those would be bugs. So I think you're going to see an update of the game no matter what Rockstar's saying right now. But online, you will hate. I'm just saying that right now, Goalie.
Oh, that's what I bought it for.
Chaos said last night, he goes, oh, Goalie's going to hate this. I'm like, yeah. But there have been moments when I have laughed myself, was laughing to the point of tears last night, being in a group of guys. Oh, my God, it was so funny. One particular mission, we had to go steal an RV that had a meth lab in it, so it was 4 of us. And, if you die, your team only has a certain amount of lives. Like, say, 2 extra lives. So if, say, there's a group of 4, first guy goes down, he's respawned. Second guy goes down, he's respawned. Third guy goes down, you're out of lives for your team. So that person stays down. So all he could do is just spectate. So there was one that we had to go steal an RV from some bikers that had a meth lab in it. And first time we just failed miserably. Second time we went out there and we were a little more strategic and set up our cover a little bit better. And 2 of us died, but I forgot who was in the car. I know that Chaos was behind the wheel, and they're driving away with the meth lab, and they're being followed and shot at, and they shoot Chaos, and Chaos is driving, and he's like, oh God, I'm shot. And it's like, I can't get into your body's in there. I can't get over there. He's the live guy is sitting in the passenger seat. So he bails out of the vehicle. Goalie is slumped forward on the gas, and the thing just takes off, and the RV just keeps going and going over everything. It's like hitting railroad tracks and launching into the air, coming down. And it was, God, like 5 minutes of him chasing this RV out of control, and Chaos is like, I can't do anything. I'm dead. We laughed so hard about that, them chasing down the runaway RV. And so those are the kind of moments that make the online so much fun. But there's going to be a lot of moments of just pure frustration at this point.
Yeah, it sounded like it, you know.
Yeah, you kind of have to really want to love the online until it gets a little more stable. But like I said, the game takes time to get going. And the characters in it are really compelling. I am very compelled by Michael's character. He's a retired criminal, mastermind criminal, who would do bank heists and jewelry heists and, that kind of stuff. And he's in witness protection, and he's living in Los Santos in a mansion. His wife is screwing her tennis coach. The kids are just, in a way, they're not cartoon characters. They're not just asshole kids. They're asshole kids, but you see their motivation for being assholes because their dad is such an asshole. And they don't want to be bad kids, but they can't help it because all their lives is that instead of their dad being like a good their dad for them, has just essentially thrown money at them and thrown belongings at them. So, of course, they're completely selfish, but at the same time that they're also angry at their father for being emotionally absent from them. Meanwhile, the father is like, okay, I want to be there for you kids. I want to be there for you. It's like, Dad, you can't be there for us now. You've been an asshole for all our lives, and now you want to be there for us? Screw you. So it's not a cartoon relationship. It's not superficial of like, oh, here's just this character and one-dimensional character and another one-dimensional character. Everybody seems to have a very compelling and believable and well-explained motivation that makes them all a little sympathetic. So the more I'm getting into it, the farther I am getting along, the better I am. By the way, I'm going to throw it out the chat room. What's the name of the meth lab guy out in Shady Palms or Shady Shores or whatever shores? I'm totally blanking on his name. And Michael O'Connell says dysfunctional family. Yeah, it's a dysfunctional family, but not a one-dimensional phone. Trevor, that's his name. Thank you, piss boy. Trevor. I have just met Trevor. The addition of Trevor into the story makes it really, really come together. And his addition immediately makes it a story. Because right and now, for the first bunch of hours that I played it, it was, like you said, I've kept on wanting to go back to Diablo. The whole time, and not the whole time, but there were lots of times, especially early on the first few nights that I played it, I just wanted to go back to Diablo because it was like, wow, I'm just really uninspired.
Yeah, that's how I am right now. And that you can, like I say, you can tell in my voice that I'm really just, come on, guys,
Yeah.
What is the deal?
Definitely. But I think that Rockstar was definitely cashing in on its reputation, knowing that people would play it, even if it was not a barn burner explosive story at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I haven't heard from Nick. Did I text him? I can't remember. I think it was halfway through the text. Yeah, he did text back. So he might be coming back on. So yeah, I'm still hopeful. Well, I'm not as in love with Grand Theft Auto 5 as a lot of journalists, especially the early journalists that got early crack on it, that were able to get early copies. Do I think it's a 10 out of 10? Not right now. Don't ask me later, but not right now. It's a surprisingly... You expect so much more from Rockstar. You expect so much more from Grand Theft Auto. You expect it to be, in a way, very much like all the previous Grand Theft Autos, where you come in, you've got a single character, and you've got a really, really well-defined story. You don't have that in this because you're playing multiple characters.
That is part of the confusion, I think, too, because I was
just like unconnected, especially at the beginning.
I was playing the Michael guy, and I was just driving up in the mountains and something. I was like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And nothing was happening. There was no letters on the board when I was Michael. There was nothing. And so I said, well, let me switch to the other guy. So I switched to Franklin or whatever his name was, and he's walking around, and then I saw the M come up, and I got a couple of phone calls, and that did nothing. And then I said, well, let me steal a car and drive to the M. And then that's when something finally happened. But I could have been driving around as Michael all day and probably wouldn't have found what I needed to do. And that's my confusion. But I'm very confused playing this game. And I'm just really frustrated that I'm this confused with the game. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just been frustrating. And like I say, there wasn't any of this in Diablo. There wasn't any of this in Aliens. You just went and played,
Right. Well, yeah, it's definitely not a pick up and plug and play. You definitely have to invest in it. But when in doubt, go for your story missions. Your story missions are going to be letters.
Yeah,
so go to those.
Now that
go to the letters.
Now that I know that.
And then also don't expect immediate like, where are you in the story at this point?
I just met the dude at the pool, and there's something about a boat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fairly early on.
I'm only 6 hours in. I finally get my first mission.
Keep doing those story missions, and also recognize that at least until you meet Trevor, you're going to feel the story. It's going to firm up, but very slowly. It's like watching Jell-O firm at this point. That it's not going to be like, oh, I did a story mission. Oh, now it's all come together. The moment where it starts to all come together really is in the introduction of Trevor. And that's a little bit ways away. And by the way, what the story is that the kid, your son, because Michael is the white guy.
Yeah.
Your son stole your boat to sell it.
That, yeah.
Because he needed money. Because he's an asshole kid. And so they got to go rescue his son, who's on the boat, being driven down the road by the guys that's essentially drug dealers who stole the boat from him. Because he's an idiot kid. That he stole the boat from his dad. He was going to sell it, and of course they stole it from him. And he's stuck in the boat. He's hiding in the bathroom on the boat.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah. And it'll be a couple of more ones. And in many ways, these early on stories are trying to teach you the skills that you're going to need later on. I think they could have done a better job. I'm not going to lie. They've.
I don't even know how to pull out my gun.
Fallen down. Yeah.
Like I say, it's just not what I'm used to. I'm used to something different, I guess.
Pay attention to the tips up in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, they disappear. They disappear before I can get to them. That's why it took me 5 minutes to figure out how to hook up the car to the tow truck.
Yeah.
It was like, what button is it again? I'm hitting every button, and it's like, can I get that screen to come up, show me how? Because it said what to do, and I didn't catch it.
Right.
And that's kind of the epitome of what I've gone through with this game is just frustration after frustration after frustration.
Right, and then they bring up those tips, and you could be in the middle of doing something like running from the cops.
Exactly.
I can't stop and read that. Please give me a way to come back to find that out.
Yep. So, it's little things like that are just driving me freaking. Ugh.
When in doubt, and I'm noticing this throughout the game, when in doubt, the button that you will usually need to do just about everything is the holding the right D-pad or tapping the right D-pad. So try the right D-pad. If you ever get to something like, ugh, I can't figure out how to do this, right D-pad.
Yeah, I think I did do that.
And that's what unhooks the car, by the way.
Yeah, no, it was the one of the sticks pointing down did the car.
Oh, yeah, the sticks pointing down lower it, but then to unhook the car, you have to hit the right D-pad.
Oh.
Yeah.
It just, well, whatever.
Yeah.
It's little things like that that just, boy, oh boy. You just shake your head and you're like, why am
According to Adam, he says those tips are in the escape menu.
Escape. What is escape menu?
Escape menu.
How do I'm not on the PC. I'm on the console.
Yeah. And Michael O'Connell asks, has anybody gotten a gold mission on a mission or gold medal on a mission? No, I have yet to.
I've yet to get a mission.
Like 84%, I think, is the highest.
And that's the other thing. I kept failing all the fucking missions.
Yeah.
The race one, fail. I hit a car on the way, fail. Every mission I've done, I failed the first time. Every single one. There was one, you got to catch this guy in the motorcycle. I back up, I drive away, fail. He got away. I just got in the car. Yeah. What more can I do?
Yeah.
You know, it's a kick in the nuts every time I play this game. And it's like, why am I sitting here just getting kicked in the nuts when I can go back to Diablo and have a friggin' blast?
Yeah, Adam Fulton says it's the start menu. So go into the start menu and you can find a way it'll re-show the tips. Also, I forget, I think it was Corey Wallace that was asking whether anybody has used the iFruit. Yes, I have downloaded iFruit. I have played with Chop. I have gone on to Life Invader. By the way, if you go into Life Invader and you stalk, they don't like you stalk a page for any of the businesses that come up, you will get bonuses within the game. Like I decided to stalk the, I forget the name of the soda that they have, Squirt or whatever. It's not Squirt, it's whatever, Splooge. Anyway.
Splooge.
Yeah, what is Splooge Sangria? That's what I'm going to call it.
Nice.
And I stalked that page, and then when I went back into the game the next time, they said I got a certificate for a free can of Splooge. And then you can also go into Los Santos Customs, where you get a free, at least the first one's free, customized license plate. And I made my license plate Gamer Edie, GAMREDIE.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so, you can get a license plate, and then you can make, changes to your car, any of the cars that you have saved in your garages, the big garage. And when you go back in, all you have to do is drop by Los Santos Customs, and they'll install it. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's got there's a lot of good ideas. I just don't know if they're all coming together just yet. And I'm going to take it on faith that they do. Mostly because A, it's Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto. They do good jobs on things. And B, everybody else says how amazing it is. And I think that's kind of, we have to just play a little bit of a game of Emperor's clothes. We have to pretend that the Emperor has clothes on because maybe we'll see them eventually. But right now, the Emperor's a little naked right now. Maybe he's got on a pair of tighty whities. He doesn't exactly fully clothed for me just yet. For Goalie, he's completely naked and letting all his goodies out.
I know. It's such a bummer.
Nothing but twigs and berries.
Twigs and berries. I just want to play and have fun, and I'm not. And I know there's people pissed because they're like, but I'm just not. And I've spelled out all my frustrations, and I don't think I'm alone. Everybody says it's slow, and everybody, And
I think that the people that reviewed it and said 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, oh my God, greatest game ever. Oh my God, this could be amazing. This is going to go down in history as the greatest game ever. They were kind of doing a disservice because I think they were buying into the Grand Theft Auto hype a little bit. That people needed to know that, hey, this is a commitment game. Even if you would dismiss it by saying, well, everybody knows that Grand Theft Auto is a commitment. It's like, it's a different kind of commitment. This one is more of a commitment of faith that The story will eventually present itself and be compelling, because at least in the first, I would say, 10 hours that I've been playing it, it has only just now come to a point where I'm starting to see it come together, starting to see the beginnings of a story. Because before it was just, okay, I'm playing this guy, and then I'm playing that guy. Okay, all right. Oh, these guys meet. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. All right, now these guys did a mission together. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. But where is the story going?
I thought that...
And when Trevor comes along, that's when you're like, now I see where
I thought that would be really fun, bouncing from character to character. And so far, that has been added to the confusion and added to the frustration.
Yeah, I don't think that was...
that opening mission when you switched to the dog, oh my gosh, that was stupid. That was so stupid. I didn't have any fun with that at all.
It did seem a bit gratuitous.
And then actually I couldn't get the thing to move. The dog actually stood still, and I was just like, okay. This is just another kick in my nuts right here.
See, Yeager says, everybody knows Grand Theft Auto isn't a light read. Agreed. Yes. But this is a different kind of not light read. You know what I mean? Is it other games that it's been a commitment to the story, but the story has been so compelling from the opening title screen to the end. It drives you. This one, the opening title screen and the first, I would say, 4 to 10 hours are not compelling. So you have to take it on faith that there's going to be some kind of payout for that. And that's what I mean, that people kind of needed to know a little bit more than what was put out there. That, you know, it's.
Well, you and Nick both warned me. Especially Nick said Nick said the story takes for a while. Wait till you get to this point here, then it gets good. And then you were like, it's a slow burn. And that's fine, but boy, nothing was going on. Again, it's like it's like you're an hour into a movie and you're like, do I really want to watch the last 10 or 15 minutes because I just don't care.
Right.
I just don't care.
Corey Wallace asks if did I get to the point where Trevor pulls down his pants? No. I just met Trevor. And Squeegee says it sounds a bit like Final Fantasy game that didn't fully open up for 25 hours. Yes. I will say it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't fully open up. Everything's open from that moment. But the story doesn't really gel for at least 4 to 10 hours, depending on how you play it. Yeah, it's not Squeegee. It's not nearly as bad as that. So, other than that, what have you played? Other than Aliens Colonial Marines.
Well, what I did is I kept going back to GTA 5, and I kept just getting frustrated, so I would pop it out, and like I said, I put in Aliens Colonial Marines. I just wanted to play something. And that is another frustrating game. I just keep dying in that game. I finally get through the last checkpoint where I died and got to the next one and died again. I'm just not finding any health anywhere. My health is so low that they kill me right away. So that game's starting to lose its luster too. It's okay. It's aliens, blah, blah, blah. So then I put in Splinter Cell, the last one I played, and I was going to go play a mission, and boy, I didn't want to play anything. Well, I did that one. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Oh, and I remember that one. And no, I'm not in a Splinter Cell mood.
By the way, you heard Tom Clancy died, right?
Yeah. 66. That's too bad.
Patron saint. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
All those Ghost Recons.
Yeah.
But so I've been playing a lot. Just been really. I think that the Grand Theft Auto really has got me in a funk because I put in Splinter Cell and took it out. And then I think I put in the hockey game and played a period and then took it out. And then I put in football and I played a quarter and took it out. And I went back to Diablo.
Yeah,
I really did. And it just we beat it. I don't know if everybody knows that yet, but me and my wife got on there. We played and we joined up with Chaos. So we needed Chaos to go and help us with the final battle. So the three of us went in on normal mode. I want to say normal mode medium, and we took down the Diablo, and then we beat it. Now we went back and we're on nightmare mode. And a funny quick story here. We were playing with Steeler Gang, and Steeler Gang is the one that turned me on to this game. I think that's Neil. And Neil says, Goldie, you got to try this out. I'm addicted to it. So I downloaded the demo, blah, blah, blah. I love it. So he came in and played with us. Now, in nightmare mode, I thought we were going to get mowed down, but our characters are pretty high and pretty powerful. So we were mowing down the enemies in nightmare mode on medium. So Steeler Gang comes in. I said, hey, you want to bump it up to hard? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. There's 3 of us. You should be fine. Well, everybody went to go get a drink, and I put it on Master 1. Which is above hard. I think there's 3 or 4 levels of master, and I didn't say anything. So I just put it on master 1 on the nightmare mode. And we went in and we started playing. And they're like, holy crap, how come we can't kill any of these guys? And everybody's dying and reviving and dying and reviving. And we all went back to town, and it's like, you put this on master 1? I was like, yep. And so we were having a blast. We ended up going in. I think we beat, is it the Butcher is the first boss battle?
Yeah.
I think so. The fire guy there. We took him down in nightmare mode on Master 1, and we all did a dance. We all did a dance because it was hard, because you add hit points and they don't take as much damage, and it took a good 20 minutes of solid playing. It was a blast. We got done and we were all sweating. So, yeah, Diablo is the go-to game. And we're supposed to hook up with him again this weekend and play again. And just, now that we know we can play Master 1, we're going to do it. It's just the enemies do so many different things, and there's so many of them. There was one, that some skeleton creature to come out, and then, boom, he turned into 16 skeleton creatures. We're all, It was like, this is awesome. So, yeah, I mean, boy, this game come out of nowhere, this Diablo 3. It is so, so fun.
Yeah, and, I'm definitely enjoying Diablo. I like you said, I finished it like you did. Finished the whole thing in normal. Now I have Nightmare unlocked, and I can play.
Oh, you can? You beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
So now you can play with the big boys.
Well, yeah, exactly. And and I'm playing it again, and it is still just as enjoyable. It's World of Warcraft Lite. It's Blizzard. They definitely know how to do an MMO, or at least an RPG. And it's a ton of fun. I'm not going to lie, but it is very much launch into it instant gratification.
Yes.
But it's 2-dimensional. Everything's all they said. The story's 2-dimensional. Everything's very 2-dimensional. It's very straightforward. Angels versus devils.
Yep. I mean, you jump into this and you get the money shot right away, and
the
it goes.
Good guy's good.
It goes to the next chick. There's no story mode. You go right into the hardcore stuff with Diablo 3. Right.
So yeah, that's about all I can say for it. But I enjoy that. I can definitely see, and I see that it's a good thing that they're both out the way that they are out, as they are now, because those two games together. Because it's like, if I need the instant gratification of killing shit, there's Diablo 3. If I want to have something that's going to require a little bit more, like reading a novel, then I've got Grand Theft Auto. And Grand Theft Auto is definitely like reading a novel.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a big novel like War and Peace versus summer pulp fiction. So yeah, it's fun. Both of them. I think they're both, right now I'm enjoying, honestly, Diablo 3 more than I'm enjoying Grand Theft Auto, but I know that will change.
Yeah, I have that funny feeling.
Faith about it.
I have that
huge faith.
Funny feeling, and when you just said that, I was like, something, I really think that this time next week I'm going to say, oh, finally it turned a corner and I'm having fun. I got a funny feeling that next week I'm going to have a different view of the Grand Theft Auto, but at the same time, it's, boy, I hate to even compare this to the Xbox One, but Xbox One and how they did it so irked me and irritated me, and I so wanted to love it. And I'm so mad at it that, honestly, Grand Theft Auto, I feel the same way. I'm a little mad at it, that it's doing this to me.
Right.
So I need to get over that. I just had a fight with Grand Theft Auto. Just had a fight with it. Okay, so I need to get over that. I need to make up with it, and see if we can move forward.
Right.
As stupid as that sounds.
That doesn't sound stupid. It definitely makes sense. You just have to kind of cut it a little slack at this point.
Yeah, I need to forgive it for wasting my time.
And recognize that it's not something that you're going to launch into like you thought it was going to launch into. It's going to be like reading a novel, a really good novel.
It just needed to do something a little quicker. It really did. It didn't need to do what it did. Because now I'm mad. Now I'm mad. And seriously, the last time I pulled it out, I says, I'm done.
Blackspear says, Goalie's makeup sex with GTA is going to be epic.
I know. Wouldn't it be funny if Kevin?
Oh, and you cannot double team up a hooker. We tested that.
Kevin, my boyfriend beat the shit out of me, but loves me is going act better and marry me one day.
What is that?
Oh, Kevin, he says, my boyfriend beat the shit out of me, but he loves me, and he's going to act better and marry me one day.
Is that one of the quotes? It wouldn't surprise me. There's some hilarious quotes in that game.
No, this is from Kevin in the chat room.
Well, he's got it quoted, so I'm assuming that is a quote from somebody that was rolling around in the place. Man, it has so much there. It has so much potential. And I'm really waiting. It's like, it's so much of I'm waiting for it to get better. I'm waiting for the online to sort itself out so it'll get better. I'm waiting for the story to kind of get to a point where it's really compelling so it'll get better. And it's like, I feel like the title of Grand Theft Auto should be Grand Theft Auto 5, It'll Get Better.
Yeah. No, the online, why is it I won't like it? If even if I go in there and
it's going to be the same kind of thing where you're just not feeling it and it's buggy and it'll keep booting you out and you won't be able to get in, but other people will be in, so it'll make you feel bad. Like, I hate that feeling when a bunch of people are in the room and they're clearly having a great time and you can't even get in because it's buggy as shit.
Yeah, but the bugs will go away. I don't hold anybody accountable.
It's not another case of a situation where they don't do a very good example of explaining how to do stuff. There's this long tutorial which teaches you how to do stuff, but it's not necessarily really good for teaching you how to do stuff that you don't know. It teaches you how to do stuff you do know, like how to have a race. We know how to have a race. We've been playing races, that kind of stuff. But it's a pretty long one. It took me about an hour to go through the tutorial. And it doesn't feel like a tutorial. It just feels like you're locked into these 4 missions that are all right. And then, of course, there's a lot of waiting, and then you keep on getting booted out of them, and then you try and get back in, and it won't let you in, and you create a character, and then you get booted out, and then you try to create a character again, and it's a different character, and it says you already have a character saved, but it won't let you access to the character, that kind of stuff. So, and then there's the whole thing of you're walking down the street and somebody just shoots you dead and takes your money.
Yeah, but there's no way I could play that. That would just be too much. So, I mean,
it would just piss you off. And the fact that killing you doesn't actually make them a bad sport, but wrecking your car does. Tells you what's important. The one thing that you could get replaced for free, which is your car, destroying that is a bad sport thing to do. But shooting you and taking your money is not. As you're just walking down the street or trying, you warp in after, to the game, fresh into the game, you warp in, you're running to your car because your car always spawns right next to you. So you spawn, your car spawns, you see your car, you have to run to your car, you run into your car, somebody turns the corner, shoots you dead. And then that's not a bad sport. So then you have to spawn back in again, but now you've lost the money that you had on you, and maybe you spawn back in or not, or somebody, you get kicked from the server. It's like, how can I be kicked from the server? It's my server. Or being stuck in a loading screen for one of the missions that happened last night. It's the last thing I did is I went into a mission at the shooting range, and I went into it, and there was this guy that was already in that mission, but I had a closed room. I created a closed room because I was having such other issues. I created a closed friends-only room. Mm-hmm. And then there was some guy in my mission that was not somebody I knew. It's like, how did you get here? And we both got locked up so that I had to to dashboard out. And I was like, you know what? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go to bed. Yeah. Oh my God. How many griefers are now on GTA Online? There's a lot of griefing, but not too terrible because it's only 16 people. So if you get a group of like 4 or 5 people, you've got, chances are, the biggest group of people in the room. I heard something about a 3-way in the back seat with a hooker. I have yet. I mean, Chaos and I put quite a little bit of effort into trying to get a hooker into a 3-way. And yeah, what it ended up happening was me and my character doing it with the hooker in the front seat with Chaos standing at the front, in front of the car, staring through the front window. Which was when you go into the sex screen, it's from the back seat or from the back window, so you can kind of see what's going on, but you don't actually see what's going on. And all I could see, I wish I'd taken a picture, is me and the hooker doing the nasty, and then right between us, you could see there's Creation Chaos in his black fedora hat and black sunglasses looking in through the window, and it's like creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Weirdo. Sicko. Yeah, awkward, as Michael O'Connell wrote. Yeah, that's what it was. Awkward. So, anything else? I have been just, I'll let you guys know, since you guys are, it's just us, a small group of Game Hounds listeners.
You're just a small town girl.
I am living in a lonely world.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the middle of kind of a family thing that my dad is in the hospital and has been for the last month or so. And he's totally, in the last month, he went from being like not totally, I'd say mostly just kind of, mostly cognizant, mostly all together there mentally. And just every once in a while he'd say stuff that would be like, oh, geez, Dad, come on. He was just a funny old man. Now, in the last month of being in the hospital, he's kind of in this, I would say, 30 to 40% dementia, and is going to require 24-hour care. And now we're having to move him out of his house and into another house, but that house is getting renovated because it was one of our houses that was halfway through renovations but wasn't done. And so we're scrambling, trying to renovate that house so that we can move him into it, and with my mom. And it's getting hospital beds and nurses and all of that. So if I have seen, and if the Game Hounds release dates have been weird, that's kind of why, is because I'm literally over at the hospital every day or every other day. And if I'm not there, I'm making phone calls. That's what the phone call was. Phone calls to nurses, phone calls to doctors, phone calls to this, that, and the other. The reason why I'm not here today is that he's coming out of the hospital tomorrow. So I have to be over there today. That we were thinking he was coming out today, but he's actually coming out tomorrow. But I have to be over and taking delivery of all of the medical equipment and setting up nurses. And this is my life. Yay.
Yes.
So that's why. And by the way, totally okay with this. Dude's 90 years old. We all knew it was coming. I'm just regretting it's coming now. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad it's coming out now because I'm not working. I actually have the time to do it. I don't have to quit my job in order to do this. So it's fine. And I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's just, I really need a vacation. Now that I've come back from my vacation, I really need a vacation. So, but it's been good. The family's kind of pulling together. I have an incredibly dysfunctional family, and it seems to have actually decided that it's not going to be dysfunctional because that would be stupid right now. So that we're actually taking everything a little bit more seriously and kind of pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps and working together, which is good. So it's not an entirely bad thing. But thank you, Brax for your void. Says prayers are with you. Who else wrote? Michael O'Connell, hope he gets better. Yeah, no, he's not going to get better. Dude, he's 91 years old and his brain just went out. His brain is locked up. His brain got bricked. And so we're just dealing with, how do we fix it? The power supply is good, but the hard drive is fucked. And there's nothing else you can do. Unfortunately, you can't really switch out the hard drive. So we're just kind of dealing with the gimped brick system that we have right now. And making the best of it. Laughing our asses off because the shit that comes out of his mouth sometimes is hilarious.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Once you're over the initial, like, oh my God, this is my father and he's dying. Once you're past that point, you kind of get into the, all right, now let's listen what kind of crazy stuff's coming out of his head. Seriously, Pixar should use him or other people in this state for finding out ideas for stories, because man, every time I come in there's another crazy story, and it's like, okay, Dad, all right, good to know. Police chiefs are chasing him now. When he wakes up in the middle of the night, he's got 2 police chiefs sitting on either side of him.
Oh, really?
Right. Oh, yeah. And it's driving him nuts, but there's nothing he can do because they've been elected. Well, they were elected once, and then in the referendum election, they got elected again. So there's nothing he can do. It's like, okay. The degree of, like, the detail of the delusions is actually quite amusing. So we're having as good a time as we possibly can. And wine helps. Wine and beer. Oh, my new best friends. I love you and I love Nick, but my new BFFs are Black IPA and Chardonnay.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely have to come home and it's like, okay, I need to put my feet up. It's like, Kevin, don't talk to me. I need to put my feet up. I need to have a glass of wine and I need to just not talk right now. Give me 20 minutes. I'll be fine. So anyway, so that's why Gamehound's releases have been a little weird, and why we're doing happy endings, not a real show today. Not like this is not a real show. So,
yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah,
and we had a chance to come on, talk a little bit about.
And I'm kind of glad that we're here instead of in the regular show because of Grand Theft Auto Online, because so many people have tried it and had issues with it, and everybody's issues are a little different, although some issues are the same. And everybody has an opinion. It's definitely not a game that especially the online, you don't go in there and go, meh. You either really, really like it or you're really freaking frustrated by it. So there's so much to talk about. And they don't really spell out a lot of the stuff in there as well as they should. Like, I didn't know about the yelling at the shopkeepers as you're robbing them, or flirting with the...
Hang on 1 sec. Hey, this is Dave. Yeah, I'm just recording the show.
Kevin asked how's smoking. Yeah, I picked a bad month to try and stop smoking. Let's just say that.
What's up?
The whole hospital thing, just all it does is make you want to smoke. Very high stress. But the hooker thing, or not hooker, but the stripper, flirting with the strippers or talking to the shopkeepers to make them hurry up to put money in the bag. That is something that I found out from somebody else who I was talking to. It's not something that the game makes evident. So there's a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of little features that they don't really do a really good job of explaining. And that can be simultaneously frustrating, but at the same time really exciting because you know that there's a ton of Easter eggs in there. My problem right now is that on online, I chose to choose what my character looked like based on my grandparents, and that is very hard to do. And then when I was done and I got into the game, I look so much like a tranny. I totally look like a tranny. I picked the wrong hairstyle, the wrong makeup, and the wrong clothing. I look like a tranny hooker. So I had to go change her hairstyle so she didn't quite look so butch.
That's too
It
funny.
was not intentional.
Hey, I finally did the iOS 7 update. I just did that today.
And?
Well, I put it on my my iPod. I bought a new iPod this summer because my other one was like 5 years old and wouldn't run. The thing is, when you keep updating all the apps, it's great, but it requires more power to do all these things. So eventually my iPod would not work with the current stuff. So I was like, boing, see you later. So I put the iOS 7 on my iPod. I was getting used to it. It's okay. The things are obviously bigger. The little icons are bigger, and they're really white, and they're very plain. It looks like a 10-year-old designed them. Mm-hmm. But it seems to run okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, seems to run okay.
Right.
You know, I don't really know what else to say about it beyond that.
Right.
Yeah, it seems fine. It actually seems to run a little smoother. Maybe it's just me. But, so I did that, and I updated all my my apps too. Like there was like 40 updates. I think it just finally finished. But boy,
Right.
I was like, ooh boy. So we'll see how it goes. I heard it's a battery hog. That I did hear. So I plan on running out of battery quite a bit.
I'm not interested in doing it because right now, even so, I'm using my phone so much that I make phone calls throughout the day, and all of a sudden I look down and I've got 20% battery, and I'm sitting in the hospital. And it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. It's like I can't do that. That won't work.
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating thing about the battery life. So I'm waiting until it all sorts itself out.
The other thing I don't like is with your email, it goes back in and finds every email. So it says I have 1,000 messages.
Yeah.
Which before would just kind of show the new ones. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot I save for reference, mostly for work, or maybe there's some Game Hound stuff that I save, or love letters from ex-girlfriends, or whatever. Whatever. Just throwing that out there. Whatever. But so I have a ton of emails saved. And in the old iOS, it would just if you get 10 emails, it come in and it would show 10. Well, now it goes back, and I have usually 100 saved in this box, and I'm going through this other box, and I had several hundred. So it's like, oh, you have 1,000 messages. Oh, so what am I going to do to get rid of that number?
Right.
Oh, so I don't like that.
Right.
But some of the other things...
I'm really surprised that it didn't pull over your preferences so that or at least your, user information so that it wouldn't do that. Because that's happening to everybody. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yes, it's. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. It's a slow burn.
I know. Stop with the burn. I know. It's going to be interesting to see in a week. It really is to see what my attitude is in a week.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in a week it will be a lot different. You will definitely feel better.
Well, I wonder if I will feel better, or if it'll be like, yeah, finally I started to have some fun.
Yeah, I would say just focus on the missions, which is any letters, and until you get out to meet Trevor, and then reassess. Play a couple of missions, 3 or 4 missions with Trevor, and you can reassess and how things are going.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not so jaded at this point.
I think you are.
I think I'm sour.
You need to let it go, or you need to just not play the game because you're so pissed off at it now that you've essentially you're dead to me. You're dead. I have cut ties with you.
Yeah,
you are no more. I do not know you.
Yeah, and doesn't that suck? Doesn't that suck that I'm so mad?
Yes, it sucks that you won't. Yes, and I fear for you. I'm really not blaming Grand Theft Auto for that. I'm blaming you for that. That if you get pissed off, that's it. I'm not coming back. That's it. I'm like you say, right through the window. Don't do that with this one.
I'm trying not to.
I know. Look at Borderlands. You hated Borderlands.
Borderlands 1. Borderlands 1.
You have no idea. You might not. You could go back to Borderlands 1 right now and like it.
I know.
Because now that you play Borderlands 2.
I do that, don't I? Don't I always start at number 3 and then go back and, oh, this is great. Why didn't I like this before?
Why didn't I like it the first one?
Well, this is 5, and I'm not liking it. This is fun.
I don't know. I've never been able to convince you to like something after you've decided you haven't liked it.
This is 5.
I know. I haven't. So I don't know if I can help you on this, but I say this as someone who's going through the same experience as you, but I do have a greater faith that the story's going to kick ass eventually. Mostly
eventually, the key word.
What?
The key word, eventually.
Eventually. Mostly because everybody says it does kick ass, and B, it's Rockstar. There's no question.
I know. That's what I keep saying. I keep saying that this will get better. It's this, it's that.
Right. Well, just knowing that you need to go through story missions will help.
Yeah.
Knowing that how to find which are your story missions will help immeasurably. Because when you're just in there and you don't know where to go to these letters, that those are the story missions that you need to hit, then you're just going to wander around and be very bored. It's like driving downtown LA without having a place to go.
Yeah. Let's just hope it gets better.
If Void says Homefront 4.
Gee, that's another one I wanted so bad to be awesome.
I know you did.
Boy, I
have no faith in that game, and I had no faith in the game from the beginning.
Oh, stop!
I didn't.
Stop.
But I think it's pretty beyond Two Souls.
Oh, beyond two. What was that? Two Worlds 2 or
Two Worlds 2?
Oh man, I warned you guys about that one. I warned you.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta bounce because I gotta go to the hospital and pay for an extra day. Yay! For my dad to be in hospital jail. Woohoo! I told him be nice or I'm gonna leave him there.
Oh boy.
I did not know I would never do that. I'd never say
I was driving home.
Out loud.
I was driving home last night from the rink, and I don't know what channel I had on or what I was listening to, and they were talking about all the changes coming to healthcare and the whole bit. And no, they were talking about not euthanasia, but what happens when
assisted suicide?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they were talking about that, and they said, "Now, what if you were in the hospital?" And there's this young guy there, and his dad's in there, and the doctor gave his dad less than a week to live. But he had an insurance policy that was running out in 24 hours. And if his dad lived past 24 hours, he wouldn't get any money from this insurance policy.
Right.
And it was like, so what would you do? It's like, you got less than a week to go. And in 24 hours from now, the policy expires and you get nothing. So do you take that pillow?
Fuck yeah. Darn
Oh, no.
No, I would ask my dad first. The thing about assisted suicide, it's assisted suicide, meaning I'm assisting you to commit suicide. It's not murder.
Can you hold this pillow for 1 second on your head?
I would be like,
now what's
Dad,
that?
Do you mind if I smother you right now? Do you mind if I take you out?
It's not about the money. It's not about the money.
I want to do this.
I couldn't believe it. It's like, yeah, what would you do? It's like, here's a guy struggling. That's, he's going to die. He's going to die anyway. Oh.
And that's why they have video games. All right. I got to go. You going to keep going or are you going to?
No, we're going to wrap it up. I am going to go back and try to play some GTA 5.
Okay. Go back and try and play GTA 5.
Go
back. Yeah. It'll help. It will help.
I hope so.
Okay.
All right, gang. You've been listening to the Game Hounds. So many different ways to get a hold of us. Our website, gamehounds.net. Our email, gamehounds@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Gamehounds, and my personal Twitter is GamerGoalie. And we have a text line. Text line is 304-300-9889. So many ways to get a hold of us. We usually have our weekly show along with our live show that we do, and this is the live show. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. I know we had Void in there, Kevin, Yaga, Black Sphere Void. Pissed was in there for a little while. Going back, Jason Webb, Michael O'Connell, and the whole bit. And let's see. There's got to be more. Corey Wallace. Yes, Corey, can't forget about you. And if there's someone I'm missing, I really do apologize. Because I'm going to go back and play some GTA 5. So everybody, thanks for tuning in to Gamehounds Happy Endings. The not so Grand Theft Auto show. Good night.